All right, shalom, shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity of the men and the women who follow. This is the brother Kratazah from the GMS Nebraska camp, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. This lesson is being entitled Niggas will win on this side, men of the Lord, win at world's end. All right. And it's just stems from a conversation that, me and some of the other brothers had today. And it is what it is. The scripture speaks about, if we were the world would love his own, you know. But because we're not the world, the Lord chose us out of the world, you know, we're separate, set apart, holy, sanctified. Okay, we're not like the world. Okay, well, let's just get this real quick. I was gonna kind of save this, but the Spirit is speaking expressively. So Ephesians 4:22. Not this one. Um, yeah, First Peter 4:4 says, "Wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you." You know, so we're not into the same things that the world is into. The world's not into reading the Bible, at night. The world is not into, doing lessons on scriptures, doing research on, the Maccabees and the Roman captivity, Babylon, you know. But this is what gets our gears going. This is what, we're built for. You know, I love this truth. I love doing the research. I love putting in the work for this truth, you know? But the the world's not gonna have that same affection for it. The world's not gonna have that same energy. Cause like I said, niggas gonna win on this side. They're gonna get the women. They're gonna, they're able to do whatever they want by any means, get money by any means, gang banging, or maybe maybe you're not a quote nigga, maybe you're a corporate nigga, and you're working 70-hour weeks, you know, making $200,000, tap dancing for the white man or whatever it is you do, but you don't have that time to put in for your how about Shimmy outside, so 2/3 is going to win on this side, or have an opportunity to win on this side, because a lot of them it's just going to be two-time losers of our people, you know. But which everybody's going to be a winner in the kingdom, so I can't call them a loser, but two-time lesser, should I say? So this is Exodus 32:9. It says, "And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, this is a stiff-necked people." You know, Jake is a hard-head, stiff-necked people. All right, who won't get right, who can't get right, which is why they're gonna die on this side. Which is why 2/3 must be cut off and die. All right, and the Lord's gonna bring the third part through the fire and beautify them with salvation. All right. Matthew 24:37 it says, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." You know, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Well, how do quantify that for today? Well, they're doing the same thing. They're clubbing, they're partying, you know, niggas snorting cocaine and it's not even summer yet. And just the other day, we had like 4 or 5 shootings that were all connected. You know, somebody got shot, and then his homies wanted to get that get back, and then they wanted to get back, and then they had to get it all in the same day. It's a curse to have to go through this. But nobody's got their mind on the Lord except the men of the Lord. Nobody's who. If it wasn't for the men of the Lord, we'd be stuck in this place, man. The scriptures speak about if all Israel would turn and face the east and bow and pray to the Most High, that He would, save us right then and there. But it's not gonna happen because we're stiff necked people. Because we're not a full nation of niggas, but damn, we have a lot of niggas within our nation. Hosea 9 and 1, it says, "Rejoice not, O Israel, for joy as other people, for thou hast gone a whoring from thy power." We've gone off and we started worshiping white Jesus and Egyptology, and Allah and the circumference of the universe. And Jake is just into some bugged out doctrines. Jake is into everything under the sun, and then want to tell you that Yahweh Hashem Shai is not the true names, or is fake, or bring leaven in with the doctrine. Says, "Thou hast loved the reward upon every corn floor." Jake basically is just monkey shuffling for the white man's religion, should I say? Because you got a lot of the Latinos who are captivated with that Catholicism. Catholic Church put hell on Jake in Central and South America, and now they got their mind. Worshiping Caesar Borgia. A lot of our people need to be ashamed of themselves, but they're not going to be ashamed of themselves until they're in the kingdom. Okay, we read that. So as far as the hopeful elect, the men of the Lord, like I said, we don't run to that same excess of riot. So this is Ephesians 4 and I started at 20. It says, "But ye have not learned Hamashiach, if so be that they have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahweh Shai." Right? Most of the world haven't heard the real Yahweh Shai. They don't know that austere man, who said, "If this is my kingdom, my servants will fight for me." Who's gonna come back with his dyed garments during going through Basra, or who's gonna come back with the chariots shooting lasers, destroying the world that we know as is. All right, verse 22, it says that ye put off concerning the former conversation of the old man, right? Your old ways. Put off your old ways. We were in the world and we were chosen out of the world. So now we're putting off our old ways. Now we're becoming a new bottle to put new wine in. It says, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, right? And be renewed in the spirit of your mind. So we have a whole new mindset. We have a whole new outlook on life. It's not all about partying and bullshitting. It's not all about getting money and getting bitches. It's about giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, and then living your life in the meantime, but make sure that you know the order of operations. All right, because Yahweh Bashem Yahushai definitely comes first, and then you live your life, then you work your job, and then you get your wife and your kids and your family and go and have fun and things like that. But that's a distant second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Okay. So Isaiah 13 and 12 says, "I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man of it's like even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir." Right? Because niggas are going to win on this side. But the Lord said he's going to make a man of the Most High more precious than fine gold. All right? Pookie can't be precious like fine gold. The best Pookie can do is wake up and come into this truth. Other than that, you're going to be destroyed. You can have all the gold chains. You can have the new 2026 Oldsmobile Cutlass. You have a goddamn Dodge Charger, a Lamborghini, doesn't matter. Big dookie gold chains. What's it gonna matter when the MOTB hits the scene? All right, and in order for you to keep all your luxury items, you gotta conform your beliefs. or really just bow down to the image of the beast. All right, and be Esau's boy. Listen here, boy, take this here chip. Put this chip in you, boy. You want that Roadrunner? You want that Charger? That Bumblebee? Put this here chip in you, boy. And niggas gonna do it because they want that Charger. They gotta have that life. They gotta have that. They gotta be, in the spotlight. But hey, the Lord is our spotlight. Fuck us. We're putting the spotlight on the Lord. The scriptures speak about putting the truth on a high hill, right? So that everyone can see, right? Because we're at the end. And what does the scripture say? Second Ezra 9, starting at 5, it says, "For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." So it's being brought forth in front of our eyes. And the elect can see, he who have eyes to see and ears to hear, you know, the Most High is giving, his hopeful elect 2020 vision to see the bullshit that's going on in this kingdom. Verse 6, it says, "Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs." Hey, they're talking about it might be a star that blows up sometime within the next week or two that's going to be visible with naked eye from space that we're going to be able to see. That's an amazing. I never thought I would see something like that. I haven't seen anything like that, but if it happens, that's a sign. On top of, the blood moon on the Passover, hey, we at the end of this thing, man. The Lord is coming back quickly. It says, "And everyone that should be saved and should be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed." So, hey, that's what it's going to take to get up out of here. You're going to have righteous faith, righteous works, and you got to believe. You got to believe that he is, and he is a rewarder of them that seek him. All right. It says, "Shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land." Well, what are the said perils? The martial law. All right, definitely the ICBM missiles, which are gonna turn America into the lake of fire. All right, the persecution. All these are the perils that we got coming. The famines, the disease. It's not going to be a nice time on the horizon. It says, "And shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning." So the elect was always going to win in the end. But right now, it may seem like you're taking an L because you have to take the low because you know, we're not in the spotlight because we're not on BET because we're not on ESPN. But I'll tell you this: we on these street corners, we on this these interwebs day in and day out, week in week out, preaching and prophesying the downfall of great kingdoms, mainly America. So at the end of the day, like I said, you're gonna have niggas winning on this side, but men of the Lord gonna win at the world's end, right? This is Daniel 12:2. I'm gonna just get to the point. We just spoke about Jacob's trouble in verse 1. And it says, "And many of them shall sleep in the dust of the earth, shall await, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt." Right? Because you're gonna have not two-time losers, but two-time lessers, right? Because you got people who are lesser on this side. You just like you broke, you struggling, and then you just gonna eat a missile to come into the kingdom to be a lesser Israelite, opposed to coming to this truth right now. Now the Lord had it how he had it to be or because maybe you're a balling Israelite on this side, but you're not going to be that balling Israelite on the other side. And the Lord, what did He say? The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Let's grab that real quick. Is it good? Luke 13:30. It says, "And behold, there are last which shall be first, and there are first which shall be last." So niggas gonna win on this side, but the men of the Lord gonna win at the men of the Lord gonna win at world's end. Okay, and the last gonna be first, and the first gonna be last. All right, because according to 1 Corinthians 15:53, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. We're searching for everlasting life. Flipping a key of coke ain't gonna get you everlasting life. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought past the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Yeah, and like I said, the other the quote niggas, they're gonna have everlasting life as well, but it's levels, man. You want to be part of this first resurrection. You want to be celebrated. What's that celebration? Let's get this real quick, and we'll end it. This is Second Ezra chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 43. It says, "And in the midst of them, there was a young man of high stature." I got to get all that meat off that bone. Hold on. This is Second Ezra 2:42. "I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I cannot number, and they all praised the Lord with songs." Speaking about the elect, all right, the 144,000 and the innumerable multitude, all right. It says that in the midst of them there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. Speaking of Yahushai. So I asked the angel and said, "What are these?" And he answered and said unto me, "These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now they crowned and receive palms." So, hey, we're confessing the name of Yahweh Shem Yahshai on this side. We're doing the works to receive these crowns on this side. We're not trying to put a crown on our head on this side. We're not trying to be sovereign on this side. We're not trying to make the kingdom of heaven on this side. All right, we understand that we're in slavery, and we're taking our leg so that we can win at world's end. All right, and verse 46. It said, "Then I said unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them and giveth palms in their hands?" So he answered and said unto me, "It is the Son of the Most High, whom they confess in the world." Then I began greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. Right? 10 toes down. All right, standing stiff for the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. All right, down for the cause, ready to ride for Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, and I'm not talking about no violent stuff or anything like that. Just doing the work, man, because that's what we're called for, right? We ain't got the green light to get physical. All right, we are to, like I said, prophesy against many countries and great kingdoms. All right, tell our people their transgressions, blow the trumpet unto Israel, and get this word out. So that's what we're doing. All right, so Lord's word, this is edifying, and we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakar Kadash, Brakatah, the water to the hopeful elect, all the men and women who are enduring in truth and sincerity. Hey, Shalom.